Hi, this is Julian Valderrama, and I'm the author of Blueprint for Immortality, The Quantum Code for Life's Secrets to Success, and now finally published, Life is a Game, The Quantum Code for Life's Principles for Success. The name of this riff is this. And the question is, do you resonate with this statement? I can't get over my miserable past. This may be one of the most challenging experiences. Because you got to ask yourself, are you overwhelmed with negative memories where you had negative experience? Have you gotten to the point where you accept that you are not alone and that all of us may carry heavy resentment from pain of injustice? And even though you may accept this, you can't help but feel bad about your negative past experiences. Does it seem also like you can't bring yourself to not think about what happened? Almost like your mind forces you to feel and re-experience these things in your mind all over again? Please pay close attention to this, for it may literally save you from a stroke and a freaking heart attack. And I'm not kidding. The answer you may not like, and you may not agree with the answers. Yes, the remedy to your situation may be like surgery that removes terminal cancer. And again, I am not kidding. This is serious. I'll prove it to you. If you happen to be listening to this, pop the champagne and celebrate, for I am about to give you the literal cure for what is happening to you. And I am about to say something bold here. When you hear what the solution is, you are probably going to get pissed off. Stop the audio and put a negative comment on this video. I'm here to tell you, it does not matter, for I am going to tell you anyway. I feel doing the right thing is more important than worrying about the negative reaction of others. And I know because I have seen it. I have tried to help others, and they can't get themselves to swallow the pill. It is a hard pill to swallow. Really, really hard. You may literally choke on it. And I have seen extreme reactions because most will not and cannot accept the reality of these things and why these things have happened to them or continue to happen. I'm going to say something here before I start going over your solution to this life challenge. If you just happen to stumble upon this audio, consider that the answers come from a place where it is explained under the context of now over 600 pages worth of book content. So yes, the answer may elude you since you are hearing this out of context. Also consider that those 600 pages are a condensed data bank of over 20 years worth of research and possibly 30,000 pages worth of material and filtering. But I promise, if you take this serious, your life, your mind, and your thinking will transform. I may suggest it will give you a superpower. And I'm not kidding either about this. So listen, if you already read Blueprint for Immortality, The Quantum Code for Life's Secrets to Success, and Life is a Game, The Quantum Code for Life's Principles for Success, I would suggest you are ready to receive this gift. But if you have not, then I may encourage you that you read those books first and read them at least one time and then come back to this audio. But if you insist on listening to this, then, okay, listen, but consider not reacting until you have a bigger picture of things and why what I am about to describe to you is true. You can finish listening until the end, but then I would highly recommend that afterward you listen or read both recommended books. Okay, so here we go. First, to prep your mind, understand that there are 3 concepts you must be fully aware thereof in order for this to truly work for you. The first concept is called epigenetics. And I'll quote from my book here, from chapter 5. Epigenetics is the study of changes in organisms caused by modification of gene expression rather than alteration of the genetic code itself. When we consider epigenetics, we find that outside influences and internal influences from our thoughts, words, actions, and habits, which create our character, are constantly changing our human genome. Our entire library of genes gets rewritten by our inputs and outputs, as well as by that of others. Our environment has a powerful influence on our entire makeup. It really does strongly influence the way we think, speak, act, or behave. And there is no way around it. Since such is the case, it must be our mission. Like a general who commands his troops on to battle, to command and influence powerfully all forms of inputs and outputs from our immediate reality. So keep that in mind. That's concept number 1, epigenetics. And this is the second concept you must be fully aware thereof, and it's called DNA inheritance. You have to be aware of your DNA inheritance. And yes, we are all aware that our body is made up of both DNA codes inherited by our parents. It is the reason we all look the way we do. We inherit predispositions. For example, if one of your parents was an athlete, then there is a high chance you will excel in that area. At least it will give you a foundation where you can achieve the same or transcend the levels of achievement by your parents. It is what has been called as gene expressions. But here's one thing they have not told you. We all know that if your parents were prone to illness or disease, you may inherit those DNA expressions. What they do not tell you is why is it that your parents may have developed such patterns of gene expression, illness and disease. And we may conclude that, well, they got it from their parents, and they got it from their parents, and so on and so on. With this in mind, when we integrate epigenetics and how the frequencies you broadcast rewrite your DNA, then you may understand that you have inherit all the thoughts, words, and actions that were written in your bloodline, whether negative or positive. So keep that in mind as we talk about the third concept. The third concept says that you reap what you sow. That what goes around comes around. It is karma. And in physics, this is described as the law of magnetic attraction. So when we integrate these concepts, all 3 concepts, into the experience of you and your negative memories, then you can use discernment and acknowledge that although you may not consciously have chosen these negative experiences, in fact, now you do understand that it was your energy that created them. Yes, unfortunately, it is your thoughts, words, and actions that bring back the experience that is robbing your peace of mind today. Essentially, it is your fault. Although not entirely your fault, since we know you may have inherited unresolved karma from your bloodline. In the Bible, God is quoted as saying the following, quote, I, the Lord God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of those who hate me. Another translation says, quote, bringing the consequences of the fathers' iniquity on the children to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me. So here is saying that God brings or is bringing the consequences of the iniquity of the fathers upon the children down to the fourth generation. And this has been translated as God being a jealous, vindictive, vengeful, punishing God. And maybe that was the best way to explain it to those who received the message in those times. It's hard to say. But when we examine these thoughts in the light of epigenetics and the science of gene expression fully integrated with the understanding of the laws of physics and how karma will bring back to the source the expression of broadcasted coded frequencies, then now you have to understand that you and only you are at the source of all your negative experience. And until you understand and take this as factual, when this mental shift happens in your mind, then you can finally heal from your unconscious and conscious creations of broadcasted frequencies. And let me repeat this again because this is highly significant. It's important. When we examine these thoughts, the thoughts that were quoted as being said by God in the Bible, that of bringing the sins of the fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generation, is this. In the light of epigenetics and the science of gene expression, when we fully integrate these two concepts with the concept or our understanding of the laws of physics and how karma will bring back to the source the expression of broadcasted coded frequencies, then we understand what's going on. This gives you the responsibility to understand that you and only you are the source of all negative experience, your negative experiences. And until you understand and take this as factual, and when this mental shift happens in your mind, then you can finally heal from your unconscious and conscious creations of broadcasted frequencies. You will literally become quote unquote enlightened, since you can now literally remove negative gene expression from your being. You will no longer have to broadcast these frequencies without knowing. And then you will know that you will no longer be a victim of your unconscious creations. And then you will know that if any negative experience happens to you, you know you can clear it and prevent from these frequency expressions to continue vibrating. And then you will know that you can take care of these negative expressions by rooting them out before they grow and reach critical mass and bring you more rotten fruit, illness, disease, depression, accidents, freak accidents, and hopefully prevent even death. So congratulations, you have now been given a massive gift of awareness and power. With this knowledge, you can become self-sovereign and powerful in thought, word, and deed. You can now literally broadcast positive frequencies to remove, destroy, and replace negative coding from your inherited bloodline gene expression. Here is a recipe for you to deal with these memories or even future negative experiences. Remember, you cannot hope to decode or anticipate the myriads of negative gene expressions that are unresolved from your gene pool. You also could not inventory the amount of neural pathways now reinforcing these negative codes of creation. Like layers, you may have to peel one at a time as they begin to resonate. Remember, alike vibrations attract and build on top of one another, creating tens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of these matrix patterns of frequency have created havoc in your life. So here's what to do when you become negatively triggered by negative experiences from your past, the present, or even future negative experiences. Step 1. On a piece of paper or notepad, write down the experience of how it made you feel. It could be annoyed, anger, made you feel sadness, you were embarrassed, it caused you to feel fear, etc. Define clearly how these experiences made you feel. And on paper, write down as if you were having a conversation with the person who triggered you or the experience that triggered you. Write down how they or the experience made you feel. Run the energy of the feeling by writing down everything you will say to them. Step 2. Only when the feeling has run and it has peaked, write the following to yourself. Write down how you understand and acknowledge how you are responsible to how they made you feel and that it was your energy that created the experience. Write down how you acknowledge that it could be an unconscious coded frequency you inherit and karma has now expressed critical mass of the energy. Acknowledge that you could have been thinking, saying, and acting in ways previously that made others feel the same way. Acknowledge and write down by saying that you take full responsibility for the experience. Step number 3. And this one may be the hardest one. But once you put into practice and make it a habit, you will be blown away at the way your reality will shift for the better. In Christianity, we have been encouraged to ask God for forgiveness and to be prompt to forgive others. Jesus said you must forgive the one that errs against you up to 77 times. Jesus understood that you have to do this because you are the one judging the straw in your brother's eye when, look, there is a rafter in your own eye. These are appropriate illustrations that describe the solutions of something extremely complex. Can you see the wisdom of past spiritual avatars? But can you also see how many of these teachings have been misinterpreted as well? In writing or in prayer, literally ask for forgiveness. Ask God for forgiveness for creating these things, giving you discomfort and pain. Ask God that He removes the sin from your heart, mind, and body to help you and give you the strength to change and replace these negative codes with positive coding. This is not Christianity by definition, but they are universal principles that work regardless of what you believe or don't believe. Ask that you be given knowledge and self-awareness and new knowledge to replace these negative patterns. Do this on a regular basis. Repeat these processes in your mind and on paper whenever one of these skeletons come out of the closet. Also, be hyper aware of how your experience of life shifts as you do this. Be hyper aware that you don't overreact to negativity. For now, you know you are the creator of your reality. And I'm going to give you one more step. Again, if you haven't already done so, I highly encourage you that you buy my first volume, Blueprint for Immortality, The Quantum Code for Life Secrets to Success. Books out of sight are books out of mind. But you can also listen to it on my channel. All of it is uploaded. You can listen there. And specifically, I would encourage you to listen to Chapter 5 of the book, which goes into more depth about this and how you can build yourself up as a person and how you can integrate the concept of epigenetics, DNA inheritance, and our ability to acknowledge our unconscious creations, and how we, as we integrate these concepts, you can essentially become a cause over your life, over your environment, over your broadcast of frequency. Now, I am going to address an elephant here that you may be thinking about. The elephant in the room, it seems that according to this teaching, is that the people that were doing these things to you, or the people that are doing these things to you, are not at fault. And that's not what I'm saying here. Of course, they are at fault because they also create their reality. They also broadcast frequencies. They also have thinking patterns, emotional patterns. They speak words that that makes them act in certain ways. It creates their character. But by law, they are in your reality, or they were in your reality. And the energy clashed. Something manifested. Critical mass reached, and a subconscious action was forced upon the parties involved. It is a co-creation process. We are all co-creating. And this may be hard to accept, but it seems that the laws of quantum mechanics, nature, is teaching us that there are no victims, but that we only create. And that may be the hardest pill to swallow. I know it is for me. It still is. It is challenging. But the more you exercise this, you will see benefits. And those benefits are outstanding. They're phenomenal. The clarity of mind, the peace of mind, the person that you become. You become a better human being. You become happier. You will have more joy, more peace. You will find that you'll become even more kind. And because you are vibrating like this, guess what? Those things can never happen to you again because you are no longer vibrating those negative patterns of energy. They are no longer a part of you. So therefore, the probability for these things to happen to you again are almost zero. You can potentially say they're zero because as you learn to take full responsibility for these things by doing the processes that I describe here, you will notice that those things cannot happen because you are erasing, you are deleting the source of frequency. These things cannot happen to you again. But again, as I mentioned to you, there's too much in our matrix, in our DNA, to decode. We don't know what we inherit from our bloodline. So as these things reach critical mass in our life, and either negative or positive things may happen, then we deal with them accordingly as they come up and absolve the karma as it reaches critical mass. This is important. So acknowledge this. Think about it. Ponder over it. I'm not saying accept it right now 100%. I'm not saying, believe it 100%. Listen to this again. Think about it. Ponder over it. Maybe set an intention to the universe to explain this to you with more clarity, with more transparency. Ask the universe to take your mental context in mind, your mental canon in mind, and to teach you and to give you validation as to whether these things are so, whether these things are true. So consider that. And before I end this riff, I'm going to give you one more step to do that will help you integrate this knowledge. I'm going to ask you to watch a movie. It's a Disney movie. It's called Holes. Main actor his name is Shia LaBeouf, I believe that's what his name was. He played in the Transformers movies. So look up that movie. If you can, stream it, watch it. And you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about and the benefits that can come from taking responsibility for our unconscious creations and what happens in our life that is less than enjoyable or that may bring us pain or suffering. Maybe it could be extreme pain and suffering. But I believe, and actually I know, this is a key to healing your energy, healing your mind, healing your body, to helping heal your reality, the life of others. We can transcend all these things. We just have to accept how life works, how the laws of physics work, how our biology works, when nature is telling us how nature works. And if we align ourselves, we will not continue to fall on our face because we continue to jump off 10-story buildings. Does that make sense? We are not breaking the laws, and we are not creating negativity, but we begin to create positivity. We create better. We begin to watch what we are thinking, to think again, to speak again, to act differently, to create a different character, which changes our destiny. You can do it. And again, I would encourage you that you listen to this riff, not just this one time, but listen to it over and over again. And read chapter 5 of my book, Blueprint for Immortality. I highly suggest that you do that. Again, all these riffs, all this information, my books, are not just listen once. The superficial scanning of information is not doing you any good. You must be focused. You must be engaged. You must learn to think about these things, ponder over them deeply. This will draw in more energy to the knowledge, give you more understanding, more discernment, more insight. It will make you wiser. And if you have wisdom, your life will be better. That's just how life is. Okay, this is the end of this riff. I highly suggest, if you have not already done so, to support this channel by buying this book that is being read to you. Life is a Game, The Quantum Code for Life's Principles for Success, and my previous volume, Blueprint for Immortality, The Quantum Code for Life's Secrets to Success. Also, go ahead and put a like on this video if you feel it is valuable. Also, share this with loved ones, friends, and this will help raise awareness of this kind of life-changing knowledge. So consider that, because what you do for others, you do for yourself. What you fail to do for others, you also fail to do for yourself. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And also go ahead and put a comment below if you feel you have any questions, comments, or observations. I certainly love to read that from you. Let me know what did you like best and what you got out of it, of what you heard today. And don't forget, life is a game, and this is the quantum code for life's principles for success.